And welcome back to my channel. Good morning, afternoon, whatever the time it is that you're watching this video. This is my 2023 steam locomotive tier list. Just for a little background, I started doing this in 2022, which is last year. It's essentially a ranking of my favorite steam locomotives that I've seen. However, the tier list it gives me a little more opportunity to be interactive. Rather than just going through a list, I get to click and drag and place them on the tier list. So little something more interactive. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it after I make a couple quick notes because I have seen 60 steam locomotives total as of the end of this year. Um, so I've got quite a few to move through here. But just a couple of notes. Last year I included the CNO 2716. I'm not including that this year. I don't really know why I included it last year. I think just because I saw it dead in tow, but that is not in the list this year. I also just want to note that just because a locomotive is in like the C or D tier, that doesn't mean it's a bad locomotive or there's any disrespect to the people who maintain or operate it. This is just a personal list for me based on my experience with the chase of the locomotive and how the locomotive looks visually. And then finally, including any steam locomotive that uses any steam power. So, for example, amusement park steam locomotives that burn propane are included. Locomotives at, the Heston Steam Museum or Strasbourg's Cagney built locomotive that are like 7.5 inch or 14 or 15 inch. They use steam. They operate just as a real steam locomotive would, a standard gauge. So those are included as well. And then finally, you can probably tell, but this is not scripted. I'm doing this just based off of a list of the locomotives I have last year, and I might move a few around. I might leave them the same, and then I'll add in the new ones from this year. So, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And starting us off right here, I guess I'll make a quick note too. I have 5 tiers. Last year I did the custom names for them. I'm just leaving them as a S through D tier this time, just for a little to simplify it, I guess. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump into this, starting off with the Torch Lake number 3, located at the Henry Ford Museum. And I'm trying to remember. I don't actually remember where I put a lot of these last year. However, I think this was in the C tier, and that's where I'm feeling it for this year. I do recall I got some comments on that last year, but I don't know. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would whenever I saw it. So moving on, we have the UP 4014, a little bit of an overfoamed locomotive in my opinion, but it's good for what it is. I saw it. This was the first steam locomotive that I've seen personally, and I picked quite a doozy to start with. However, even though I think it's overfoamed, I'm still going to put it up here in the A tier. That might bump up a little bit when I chase it again in 2023. I will be going out towards Chicago when they do the Four Corners tour with it. So we'll see. We'll see where it moves next year. All right, moving on. We have the Tweetsie Railroad 190, built as a White Pass and Yukon locomotive. I don't know where I want to put this one. I liked it. It was a good locomotive, but it's kind of in the middle of the pack for me. I'm going to stick it in B tier for now. Next up, we have Wilmington and Western number 58. I know it's just an 060, but the scenery was great. The locomotive put on a great show, so I'm actually going to slip this into A tier. Probably low A tier behind 4014. Alrighty, next up, this is, I believe, let me zoom in just a little bit more. Yeah, so this is Southern 630. Stupid ads. Can I not get rid of this? Okay, I guess I can't get rid of it. I'll zoom back out. So anyway, next up we have Southern 630. This is a new one for me this year, and this is definitely S tier. When I first saw it at the TVRM, I kind of thought to myself, last year I said that Reading 2102 was my favorite steam locomotive. And I sat there and I was like, this might have just dethroned 2102. So we'll see by the end of this list. All right, here we have the Stet and Quarry Central at the Heston Steam Museum. This is one of their 14-inch miniature gauge steam locomotives. As cool as this was, it's, they did put on a great show, but in terms of stack talk and performance, but I've got to stick it in D tier. I'm sorry. It's cool, but just compared to some of the other stuff I've seen, it just doesn't quite add up or stack up. All right, next up we've got Thomas the Tank Engine. I saw this at the Greenfield Village by accident. My friends and I actually went up there to use our season passes before they expired, and that's what was running that weekend. They had their Day Out with Thomas event. It's a real steam locomotive, but I'm going to have to slip that behind the Heston 14-inch locomotive because not for me. I felt weird even taking a video of it. So kind of a awkward chase, I guess. Here we've got the Tom Thumb replica from the Heston Steam Museum. Ironically, this is the video from Heston that has the most views, which is baffling to me. But I guess people like it, and I liked it as well. It's going to be low C tier, I think. It was cool to see it in action, but it didn't really run very far, which, I mean, is understandable. But, yeah, I don't know. That's just where I'm going to put it for now. I might bump it up or down later. All right, we've got Reading 21000 up next, or 2102. I don't know what I just said. And that is going to go up in the S tier. Now, the question is it above or below 630? I think, as much as I like 630, I think I've got to say 2102 still beats it out. I haven't chased it this year. I'm planning on going for a fall colors run in 2024. So we'll see if it changes then. I get the feeling it won't. So next up, we've got Six Flags Railroad number 5. This is the steam locomotive at Six Flags St. Louis. I don't know what I'm saying. This is going to go in D tier. I think I'm going to put it just below Thomas. I like amusement park steam locomotives, but at the end of the day, they are what they are. Next up, we have Southern 154, and I don't really remember where I put it last year. I've got the list I could reference, but I think I'm just going to go off of my own personal preferences. And I think that's going in B tier. It's a good locomotive. It gets a really good workout, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. Following that up, we have another Southern locomotive. This is Southern 401. I finally got to see that this year after putting it off. And it's really neck and neck between 154 and 401. But I think I've got to give the edge to 401 by just a little bit. All right, here we have Nickel Plate Road 765. This locomotive has grown on me over the years. However, I don't think it tops Big Boy for me. I think it's going to be right below 4014. All right, here we have Norfolk and Western 475, another new one for me this year. I like 475. It's not my favorite out there. However, I think this is going to go at the top of B tier for me. It was a really cool locomotive. Got a good workout when I saw it. All right, next up we've got Baldwin Locomotive Works number 26 at the Steamtown up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I like 26. Unfortunately, I haven't really seen it opened up and run really heavily. So I'm actually going to slip that right below the Torch Lake in the C tier. Norfolk and Western 611. Now, this is one I've been trying to see for a couple of years. I finally saw it, and it really did live up to the hype. It's not really my favorite, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm actually going to slip it just above 4014 in the A tier. All right, Northern Central, sorry. Number 17, also known as the York. I don't know where I want to put this one. I haven't actually given this one a lot of thought. It's cool. It's a replica. It's not as old as most steam locomotives. Still cool to see. I think I'm going to slip that into B tier. I just don't know where I want to put it. I think I'm going to slip that at the end of B tier for now. All right, here we go. Pere Marquette number 1225. Now, last year I remember I had this in the B tier, right as a kind of upper middle of the road steam locomotive. My good friend CRB Trains will be happy to know that this is actually jumped up quite a bit after my chase of it this year. So much to the point where I'm actually going to put it in the S tier. I'm going to drop it right below 2102 and 630. It's not my favorite, but it's up there. It's getting pretty close. All right, here we've got, this is Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine number 1. I stopped in for about half an hour to get a quick little video of this while I was traveling over the summer. I'm actually going to slip this above the Quarry Central locomotive at Heston. It was cool to see. It doesn't really get a good workout, but it's a short little railroad. I kind of like the operation they have going on there. It's neat to see. Next up, we have Central Pacific number 63, also known as, nicknamed as Leviathan. This is also a replica, just like Northern Central 17. I saw this at the Starborn for a run. It was cool, but I think I'm going to slip it just below number 17. All right, Southern 4501, here we go. This is definitely an S tier. It was S tier last year for me. It is going to drop down a few spots. I think it was like number 2 last year. I'm going to put it under 1225. Yeah, it's still cool. It's never a bad day when there's steam at TVRM, but yeah, that's where I'm putting it for now. Little River Railroad number 1. That is going to stay in D tier, I believe, as it did last year. But I'm going to slip that right above the Pioneer Tunnel Coal Mine. I got to see it work a little bit more at the IRE open house this year. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. So moving on to Little River Railroad number 110. Now this one is definitely higher. I'm going to slip it right below 760, or not 765, 475. Yeah, I like that placement. Next up, we've got the Moorhead and North Fork, number 12 at Age of Steam. I don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like I would like it more if I got to see them really open it up. But for now, it's got to go in C tier. I'm going to put it top of C tier, though. All right, Reading and Northern 425. This was my number 3 last year, I believe, in the S tier. I'm going to leave it in S tier, but it's dropped a little bit. I think I'm going to put it right past 4501. I might switch these, actually. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. All right, New Hope and Ivyland, number 40. This one was kind of an unplanned chase. They announced their run on Memorial Day weekend last minute. As cool as it was, it's not my favorite, but I really liked it. It put on a great show, so I'm actually going to surprisingly put that in A tier. Everett Railroad number 11. This was one that I also chose to go see last minute, and it was really cool. It got to tackle some really steep grades without a diesel assist. It was snowing. It was just an all-around a great chase. So I'm actually stick this at the top of B tier, I think. Chesapeake and Ohio 1309. I really want to re-chase of this, and I really want to do it in fall colors, which is my plan for next year. I feel like I like 1309 a little more than the average Railfan or Steam Railfan. I don't know where I want to put this. I think I'm going to slip it just below 765. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. All right, New Mexico Lumber Company, Shay number 7 at the Heston Steam Museum. Anyone who knows me knows I am a sucker for Shays. They're my favorite type of steam locomotive. But I definitely like the Shays at Cass a little bit more. This one was cool because it was a wood-burning Shay. It also put on a pretty fantastic show. But I think I've got to put it just below... I'm going to put it right below 190. Yeah. I'll put it right above those Southern locomotives. No, actually, I'm going to move it below the 2 Southern locomotives in B tier. All right, Edison number 1 at the Henry Ford. This is a 440, and it's pretty neat. I don't plan on going back to the Henry Ford anytime soon. I'm going to also put this in B tier right below the New Mexico Lumber Shay. Iowa Interstate 6988. This was also an unplanned chase in 2022. I chased the final run of the locomotive. Very glad I did. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. I'm going to put it in A tier. I don't know if I want to do it above or below 1309. I don't remember. I think I'm going to put it below 1309, actually. Yeah, I'm happy with that. J. Nils Lumber Company, Shea, number 5 at the IRM. I didn't really get to see them run this one a ton. It only ran a little portion of the line. So I've got a pretty limited opinion on it. But with that being said, I think I'm going to slip that into the upper part of the C tier. I'm put it just above the Torch Lake. All right, Jetto Coal Company, number 85. I know for sure this was in D tier last year, but I've seen it 3 times now. It's pretty neat. I see it at the LM&M as well as the IRE this past year. I'm actually going to bump that one up to C tier here. It's going to be low C tier. I'm actually going to stick that above the Tom Thumb replica, I think. All right, Jones and Lawland Steel Company, number 58, out of Youngstown, up in Youngstown, Ohio. This one is really cool. They've got some really interesting things they're going to be doing with the other 3. I wish they had more track to see this one run on. But for now, it's going to go in C tier, just above Jetto Coal 85. Next up, we have the Kittyland Challenger at the Heston Steam Museum. I like the Stet and Quarry Central a little bit more, so I'm going to put it right below that one. Let's see what's next. Great Smoky Mountain Railroad 1702. So 1702 is bumped up a little bit for me. I feel like I had it ranked a little too low last year. So I'm actually going to... I don't remember where I put it. I know it was kind of lower last year. I'm going to put it at the top of C tier this year. I don't know if that's actually lower than or higher than last year. I think it's a little bit higher. But yeah. Let me get a drink of water here real quick. All right, next up we've got Strasburg, or I like to call it Great Western, number 90. So this is another one like 1225 that jumped up a ton. We went and chased it just a few weeks ago on the holiday trains at Strasburg. And wow, it put on a fantastic show. Completely different chase than I had back when I saw it in, I think it was like May of 2022. Yeah, I've got to move it all the way up to S tier. I'm going to put it at the end of S tier, below 425. But that was a fantastic chase. I don't think we could have asked for better lighting in some spots and a better chase, to be honest. All right, Hawking Valley, number 3. This is kind of an annual trip I do. I'll be going back in February for it, actually. I don't really remember where I put it last year. It's all right. I'm going to put it just below 26. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Denver and Rio Grande Western, number 361. So this was the only steam locomotive running at Heston on their 7.5-inch Craftsman Railroad. It was pretty neat. I don't really have a ton to say about it. I'm going to slip it at the top of D tier. All right, next up, Detroit and Lima Northern, number 7 at the Henry Ford. I don't know. This is my favorite of the Henry Ford's running steam locomotives, but I'm not really sure where I want to slip it on this list. I think I'm going to put it just below the 2 Southern locomotives in the B tier. Yep. All right, Dollywood Express, number 70. This was really cool to see. I didn't expect them to... I didn't realize the grade at Dollywood was that steep. So 70 put on a fantastic show. And it's a real, steam. It wasn't just built for an amusement park. So that makes it even cooler. I'm going to put that right above... Where do I want to put this? I'm going to slip this... I'm going to put this all the way above number 12, actually. This is... It was really cool to see. It put on a fantastic show. So, yeah. Anyway, East Broad Top, number 16. 16, this was one that I was really looking forward to seeing this year. And this is... I knew I was going to like it. I didn't realize it was going to be as cool as it really was. I can't wait to go back to the East Broad Top. I know they're working on 15 and 14 right now. Hopefully in the next couple of years I'll be going back to see those two. But this is about 16, and I think 16's got to go... I think it's got to go top... I think it's got to go top 5. Right here, right below 4501. Now the real question, do I switch 4501 and 425. I got to switch these actually, I think. I'm going to put 425, then 16, then 4501. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. All right, moving on, we have this one's a mouthful, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina number 12. Or it's just easier to say Tweetsy number 12, but I get in trouble for saying that. So this one was really cool, but I don't know exactly where I want to put it. Is this A tier or is it B tier? I'm really debating between A or B tier for this one. I gotta go B tier with it. I'm gonna put it just above. I'll put it just above the Everett. I might come back to this one, but anyway. So this is Cass Scenic number. I can't actually tell which number shade this is. I believe this is number. I'm trying to see that number right there. I believe this is 11. I have two very similar ones. So I believe this is number 11. You can't really tell. No, this is number 2 actually. Yeah, I gotta remember the order that I took these photos. So this is number 2. This is actually my my favorite Shay at Cass. I don't know why unless you're talking about Big Six, they really don't look that different. But I love Shays. I love the Cass Scenic Railroad. It's one of my favorite scenic/tourist railroads. And that's going to go at the A tier. Very top of A tier. Right here we have Cass Scenic number 4. That's going to go just below number 2. And I'm actually going to go ahead and skip ahead and grab the other 2 Shays from Cass because I can already tell you they're going in the A tier as well. So we've got Cass Scenic Railroad number 5. I'm going to slip that just above number 4. And then we've got number 11, or shade number 11 from Cass. I'm going to put that at the last. So my order would go, they're all going in A tier regardless, but it would go shade number 2, number 5, number 4, and number 11. So yeah, moving on. We have the United Fruit Company number 2, located at the Heston Steam Museum. This one was cool. I didn't get to see it run that much though because the timing was off and they were trying to fix that throughout most of the day. So this is going to go in C tier, I think. I don't know where I want to put it in C tier. I think it's going to go. Does it go above the 2 060s? Yeah, I think I'm going to put it above the Torch Lake too. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Kings Island and Miami Valley Railroad number 19. So, ironically, Kings Island is one of my favorite amusement parks, but this is one of my least favorite steam locomotives. Probably just because I see them all the time. And like I said, it's an amusement park steam locomotive. So, all right, Frisco number 1630. Unpopular opinion of 1630. I thought it was very overrated, to be honest. But despite that, I'm still putting it in the A tier. But I'm going to put it above 58, actually. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, Canadian National 89. I really went into Strasbourg thinking this was going to be my least favorite of their steam locomotives, and it is. But it put on a great show. Like, the stack talk was phenomenal. I also really liked the whistle it had. I think it was like an SP 6 chime or a Nathan 6 chime or something. I don't know. We never really figured out what the whistle was, but the whistle it was wearing the day we chased it was really cool. I don't know where I want to put it though. It's getting trickier as I get towards the end of the list. I'm going to put it in B tier, I think. I feel like I'm getting a lot in B tier though. But where in B tier? It's below Everett. It's below 475. It's below. I'm going to put it just below these Southern locomotives and right above the Henry Ford's number 7. Central Railroad of New Jersey 113. All right. Unpopular opinion here. I really liked 113, and I'm going to put it in the A tier above 1630. I know I can hear some people screaming in the comments already that I put an 060 above 1630. But it's my opinion. I really loved 113. Reading in Northern is about one of the only places that you can go to see an 060 hit like 30 miles an hour almost. And the stack top was phenomenal, and it was a great chase. All right, Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad number 22. That's going to go in the D tier, but it's going to go above the other amusement park locomotives because it burns coal and they get worked a little bit harder. And then following that, we have number 44 at Cedar Point as well. That's going to go above 22. All right, Alaska Railroad number 152. I've got no recollection where I put this before because this is one I chased in 2022. I think I'm going to slip it just a... I'm going to put it in the C tier. I'm going to put just above United Fruit number 2. All right, coming towards the end here, we've got Bach Lumber Company number 1. I used to like this one a lot more, but it's fallen a little bit for me. But I think I'm going to still go with the B tier for it. But it's going at the very end of B tier. And then we've got right here, we've got the Strasburg Railroad number 3. This is their Cagney built locomotive. I kind of forgot they had that until it was running that the day that I went to Strasburg, but it's fine. I got to see it. This was my 60th and my most recent, or no, this is my 59th steam locomotive. I'm going to put that at the end of C tier. It's above the ones at Heston, I think. So the last 3, we've got the Cass Scenic Railroad Climax number 9. So when I saw number 9 for the first time, I really thought that I was going to like it more than the Shays. Turns out I did not, but it's still a really cool locomotive. I'm going to put it between the Henry Ford number 7 and the New Mexico Lumber Shay. All right, Cass Scenic Heisler number 6. I'm not a fan of the Heisler, or Heisler, however you want to pronounce it. But where should it go? I'm going to put it above the Torch Lake. I'm going to put it just below the J. Nils Lumber Company Shay. All right, and finally we have Kings Island and Miami Valley Railroad number 12. I'm going to slip that one just above 19 at Kings Island. And yeah, so that's my final tier list for 2023. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I want to switch. I don't think so, actually. I think I'm pretty happy with everything. And, I've seen 60 steam locomotives at this point. It's getting kind of harder to pick and choose and rank them. Most people don't really bother to rank steam locomotives, which I get. It's different than ranking something like roller coasters. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. So I'm not going to sit here and mull over this any longer because I'll just sit here for the next 20 minutes. So that concludes my 2023 steam locomotive tier list. Like I said, this wasn't scripted. This was just kind of me free recording a video. So it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to stumble over myself like I just did. But it's a cool video. I like to do it. So if you stayed till the end, I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Yeah, we can have a conversation going. I'm gonna try to post this tier list in the description. So if you want to rank the steam locomotives that I have seen as well, or put them in the tiers, you are free to do that. So I'll go ahead and cut it off here. I look forward to seeing you guys in 2024 for my tier list next year. And yeah, everybody have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.